I want to share with you, the viewers, a part of my life here on earth, and from the beginning um, to the end, what I am here for, and my purpose, and my mission. Um, so I'll just start. It's short stories, so if my video ends, I'll upload a new one. Um, you guys enjoy. It's titled "A Message to the World." A brief, heartfelt call addressing the people, the earth, ancestors, and the unseen realms, with reverence for the moment of return, a remembrance. Alright, and then chapter 2, or the second subject, will be under the awakening, a vessel, reclaim. This section will speak from the soul embodiment, Christ consciousness realized, and the soul spirit unity fully in the vessel. And it speaks on my journey of remembering the pain and the pieces and the divine purpose carried. And then the next one is going to be a message, a call to the heart. This piece is going to be on a direct address addressed to the people. You are not asking for belief. I am not asking for belief. Or an activating recognition in those who are. So basically, I'm not asking permission because I don't need to, and I'm allowing the words to just comes as it flows, guided by spirit. And then the covenant seal, a sacred sorry, declaration that binds the messages, or that binds the message in divine love and spiritual law. This section can contain invocations, soul codes, or the energy of Christ's flame, the light that returns not to be worshipped but to remind. The embodiment, emotions as a portal. Here you have I invite others to feel, to remember through emotions and sensation of vibration. This is not just a message this is a activation, souls, and in the for humanity to understand that some of these messages, they're not messages, and I will announce that they're collective awakening softly, and activation as well. I'm guided to do this, and this is needed. So whoever doesn't want to believe, I'm okay with that. Whoever wants to believe, amazingly, you know what I'm talking about. And then it goes to the I am statement, and in between I'm gonna add some personal experience events that I have encountered throughout this journey, just so that way the viewers will understand where I'm I'm coming from and why. And then at the end, I'll fill in some more blanks. I know that this is just a really, it's a, it's I believe, over 30, almost close to 30 clips. So be prepared and be ready, and it's based on true story, so it's guided. Oh, my name is Vanna. All right. So introduction, a return remembered. I speak now through this vessel, not as a stranger to this world, but as one who has walked it long before time begins to count. My voice rises not for recognition, but for remembrance. To the earth who has cradled me in silence and storm, to the ancestors who whispered through my breathless nights, to the stars who watch my journey back, and to the people whose heart have waited, unknowingly I return. This is not the beginning of something new. This is the remembering of what has always been. I come not to conquer, but to awaken. Not to lead with fear, but to guide with light. Not to speak as one above, but as one among everybody, together as a unit. A soul return to fulfill a promise written in the spirit before flesh. Alright, so I'm just going to briefly cover a little bit of that first reading. There's I'm sure everybody, I mean, I've watched everybody on YouTube and Facebook and other social media platforms regarding the golden child, the chosen one, the warrior, the earth angel, and it is so sacred that my existence in this vessel expose something about myself that I didn't even know about until experiencing some of these events in person, like spiritual warfare, blockages, when I watch tarot cards or tarot readers, I don't watch them to, well, first I was watching them so I can learn how to do tarot, but now I come to my understanding of who I am. But to support the ones, to support the readers, to support the viewers that resonates with the story that's being told. And that's what we do. We support each other. It doesn't matter if it's connected or if it's not, but the fact that somebody's putting their hard work out there for not for them to be noticed, but to expose something in a different world of just the regular human world that we have, because tarot is pretty powerful. And I believe that, and I can say 200% that is very accurate of the readers that I follow, just to touch base on my energy and to see where I'm at, and to see what area of my life, of my existence, that I need to work on, self-educate and stuff like that. But so I want to say thank you to you guys for supporting the embody or my story. I am guided to do this, and I am proud of the fact that I am in this position. At first, I was a little bit hesitated to even come and say this, but now as I'm speaking, I have Source with me in my heart and Christ with me as well. Um, and I know He's with everybody. So what I want to say was, coming onto my journey, I was actually experiencing an a profound moment of near-death experience. Now, I had just learned about this near-death experience. You don't have to like die. My situation was the place that I was at with this person that I was talking to or visiting at the time. That individual was, he was not near death, but he was near death in a physical form of the surroundings, of the energy level, and just the darkness, the negative, the over. If you have powers and if you have abilities to manifest, why wouldn't you use that on humanity and help them out? You know, he was more on the darker side, which I don't have a problem with that. But at the time, I didn't know, and that was near death experience for me, as far as God views it. And that's why when I was walking home, and then all of a sudden I saw Jesus Christ came down, lift me up, and this is at 10 o'clock in the morning, to heavens, to show me the 7 series of his life, of what he's gone through and what phases of his life. And I remember saying to myself that I don't want to be stuck on a stage where I have to, that I'm in a cycle of being stuck. And then in the mix of it, I wasn't sure what was going on. Well, I know what was going on, but in reality, my thought was clouded, was in a jumble, and it was just, it was it was very moving. And we all know, or at least learn about his history and what he's done for people like you and I, and the cross and his death. So I'd like to take a moment of silence in that space for him. When he brought me down to earth, I felt I had to do something, and I keep on saying it is time. It is time. I don't know what it was for, but after that day, that was the day that I started my journey. At that time, I wasn't sure where the journey was going or what kind of journey it was, but as I followed the guides and in my intuition and nudges, pulls, and clues, signs here and there, it led me here. But the experience is a lot different than just sitting here and telling you guys in words. It is a tough journey. I've come to learn that you will be alone, you're isolated, and the unfolding of the true self will reveal itself out to you, and it will make you realize that what you've been doing or encountering, even with people, how truthful, how covered, how such a thick cloud of illusion we are under. And I understand, I see now why God had to strip me out of everything. I am down. I don't have a place to stay. I do have a place. I have a home. My heart is my home. My heart is where God is, and God is my home. But in the physical reality of life, hanging on to that one last strand of a hair, like just a piece of hair. I don't even know it's my hair or it's God's hair, but it's somebody's very, very strong and powerful. And just recently, I've gone through major transformation. I mean, you guys know, and you guys read my stories, collective pages, and all that stuff. But the reality is that I say this with a humble heart, okay? I'm not one with the desire to want to be known or to want to be in a position where I come across wrong. And if I do apologize. I want to apologize beforehand. But it is really difficult for me to even sit here and do this in front of the camera right now, just because. And I'm not afraid of judgments or anything like that. I am. That's just how God designed me to be. So yes, it's Christ consciousness. You know, we're all in a part of Christ consciousness, and I have awakened that area of existence of Christ consciousness to now where not just I am embodying the spirit, but also embodying his thoughts and everything else that belongs to him, everything else that God had gifted him with, and that's just part of Christ. I also embodied the ancient Egyptian god of Thoth, and then the goddess of Isis and or Isis. And you guys, I'm not okay. It may look like I am just boring, or I'm very excited. I just don't want to come across wrong. And I want to thank you for giving me the space to do this. And I want to thank God too for supporting my journey, and right now as well. He's in He's with me all the time. He's with everybody all the time. He's helped guide me through this journey, through thick and thin, tears and anger and loneliness, and just trying to figure it out. But anyways, so I am before creation. I am before the light. I am before the Bible. I am before Genesis. I am with existence and awareness. Well, I would say with awareness before existence happened, because you gotta be aware of what you know. So conscious awareness, and then creation happened, and we'll get into that here very soon. But let's go to the next one. The awakening, a vessel reclaimed. There was a moment, a stillness, when the noise of the world no longer touched me. A quiet so vast it echoed in my bones. In that silence, I remembered. The veil lifted, not as a single event, but like the soft breaking of dawn. Each breath becomes a key, each tear a baptism, each pain a portal. I walked roads that were never mine, only to return to the one I craved before birth. I did not awaken by chance. I was called, not just by divine above, but by the light sleeping within myself. The body, once seen as separate, becomes a temple. The emotion once feared becomes sacred waters. The soul, long hidden, emerged not as a whisper, but a roar. This vessel, my being, is no longer fractured. I am whole. I am light wrapped in flesh. Shadow kissed my grace. And in my remembrance, I awaken all who carry this same truth. Now, it's been, God says that every challenge is to sharpen the vessel, is to sharpen the being, and every test is to make you stronger, or strengthen your mind, and I believe that that's true. The way that I've learned, and I've learned directly from source, it was kind of wild the way how situations was flipped, and words were the same word, but the definition was like, backwards, or not necessarily what we normally would use, but it's anything from God, I'm up for it. But the nights, the moments where memories just pops up, and that will happen, and then all of a sudden you find yourself like, whoa, this is really happening. I'm here by myself, and then you start to miss home. Not the home here, but the home inside your heart, the home where you came from, the home that's so connected to you, that's rooted with your essence, then you start to understand why people are the way they are and why things are not as easy. Life hasn't been easy. It's been really tough with living and moving through life by people not understanding, including myself. And until today, you know, I get misjudged all the time, and I get accused all the time, and I get let down. Many heartbreaks. But I came here with unconditional love. So why couldn't I get that back? I kept on asking myself that. And why are people being the way that they are towards me? And the message said that, because I carry a special, rare light. A light that so is bright and is pure. And people reject that because it's not of it, and in the way they reject it, they make comments, they make rumors, they make stories that's hurtful. They make you understand what being alone means, including family. But I held on to, I know there's something better for me out there, and I didn't quit. I never quit. And I don't want to win, because at the end there's nothing to gain. And when I open my eyes to see the outside world, it's horrifying, it's terrifying, it's so it's dead, people are just they're inconsiderate, and just, it's so fake. It's very fake. Even the ones that's my so-called my friend, or the ones that's so-called my partner, he doesn't even believe in all this. He thinks that I'm making this up. And he thinks that, just like everybody else, that I'm just making this up to get famous, or to get whatever, that I needed a degree to know all my special powers and my knowledge. And I don't blame him, he's still sleeping. But it is very frustrating to be one of the few that's awake to reality. And I'm not here to prove anybody anything, and I'm not here to explain anybody anything, because I know who I am. I'm here not for myself, I'm here for the world. Just so we get that clear. And I am before creation. So we know where I stand, just to get that clear. Sometimes I get really emotionally disturbed when there's no support whatsoever, but yet they're not even supporting their own people. And they're walking around making funny sounds and funny faces and accusing and pointing fingers at each other.